G'day guys, today I'm going to be showing you some of the snake bites you could possibly encounter while keeping snakes. They can vary from aggression bites to feeding bites. I'm going to just show you the difference between the two and possibly a few ways to avoid them happening, if not at least decrease them happening, because let's face it, when you're keeping snakes you're going to get bit occasionally. It's not as bad as it seems, but I'm going to show you the differences between what different types of bites there can be and how to possibly avoid some. Alright guys, so I'm going to use my jungle jag as the first part of this demonstration just because he's just such a naturally snappy little snake, and these is what we call defensive bites. They're not intended to be that bad, it's just basically the snake saying get away from me, don't touch me. So they're just nips and little bites. These are probably, out of the 2 or 3 different types of snake bites that usually happen with keeping snakes, these are probably the most common, but also probably the not so bad ones, I guess. They're not as bad as a feeding bite. But basically all he's going to do is just nip and bite. So he's not even going to do it now, are you? See, like right there. Little nip, no big deal. That's pretty much it, just little nips. So it's not really that bad. Again, bigger snake might be a little worse, but it's only like for a couple of seconds. It's not like he's hanging on or anything, so it's not too bad. I mean, look, you can kind of use your other hand like this to distract them while you pick them up with the other hand, and if you keep behind their head, it's not too bad. So again guys, once you've managed to actually get the snake up, sometimes they calm down, sometimes they don't. Most of the time, their aggression kind of just depletes when you pick them up. Like when they're in their enclosure, they're in an aggressive posture, and that's when it's hardest to get your hands on them. But once you've gotten them up, as you can see, my jag's a lot calmer now than what he was before. Mind you, he'll still bite me if I do the wrong things. I'm just not doing the wrong things. And when I say do the wrong things, like if I was to start waving around in front of his head like this, see right there, ready to go. But as long as I keep behind his field of vision, I can still manipulate him and move him around without any dramas. And obviously there's common sense, you don't put a snake like this close to your face or anything. But yeah, general rule, it's quite easy once he gets to know the behaviour a little bit. And like if, for example, I need to pick him up off the ground again or something like that, you know, it's again not too bad. Even if they're in a defensive posture, you can like distract with one hand while you pick them up from behind with the other hand. So little things like that you can do. So again guys, this is something that's going to come up quite regular with snakes, especially if you have a snake that is a little on the snappy side, like these jungle carpets for example. They're known for being snappy as well. Not as bad as my jag, but they have their moments. And perfect scenario right here, if you can see behind the male jungle carpet, there's shed skin back there, so he's just shed and I have to get that out. Something that we all have to do. We have to clean our animals' enclosures quite regularly. So to do that, I have to take the male out. Now, there's a few ways you can go about this. One way is you can use a snake hook to assist you, but if you don't have a snake hook, there's another way you can do it. So first I've got to get this little wooden hide out. And I mean, again, you can get bitten doing this. He has been known to bite, so I usually just go straight in, and I mean, there we go. Not too bad there, so I got him. Like sometimes he will bite, but sometimes he won't. It's just a matter of reading their body language. And the key isn't try your hardest not to hesitate too much. When you start hesitating and you go to reach for them, then you stop and pull back and hesitate, the snake kind of freaks out from that, and sometimes it'll encourage them to bite. But if you just grab them without hesitation, they don't have time to think about what's happening, and before you know it, before they know it, you've grabbed them. So yeah, it's pretty much that. So let's take this guy out. I'm not gonna worry too much about moving the female just to get this shed skin out. Grab that. And there we go, done. Now I have noticed that he has made a bit of a mess in his enclosure as well, so the enclosure will need a full clean, so I am going to have to get the female out as well. I'm going to do that after this video because I got other things I want to film and I'm running out of time, so I'll have to come back to these guys. But this just gives you the general idea of it. So now you guys have an idea of what an aggression bite is. I'm going to show you guys what a feeding bite is. Well, at least I'm going to try to show you guys what a feeding bite is. It may not go to plan, but we'll see how we go. So for this demonstration, I'm using my Rosette Diamond Python. I'm going to just let him bite me basically, and yeah, see what happens, because he is notorious for having an aggressive feeding response. So he's one of my few snakes I can almost guarantee a feeding bite out of. So yeah, let's get going, I suppose. Okay, so, ow, 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 ow. Right, so you can see what's going on. Jesus Christ, that hurt more than I thought it was. Alright, so, yeah. That wasn't the worst feeding bite, actually. I've had much worse. The reason why I say it wasn't the worst was because he let go within a few seconds. Usually with a feeding bite, they'll grab up. I just gotta watch him now because he's coming back for a second round. He wants another bite. Yeah, if you see right there, I'm already starting to bleed. Gotta watch it. You know what? You can go back. Back you go. Come on. He does not want to go back in now. In. Thank you. You know, you can never prepare yourself for that. Like, as you can see, I am bleeding a fair bit here. It's not as bad as it looks. And honestly, yeah, that hurt for like a couple of seconds. Obviously he let go, so it's all fine now. So that was basically a feeding bite. That was not an aggression bite. As you saw previously, an aggression bite is when they just striking and letting go, striking and letting go. He held on for at least a good few seconds there and constricted a bit. Now it can be worse. He realized, I'm not food, he let go. It took him a few seconds, but he did it, he let go. Some snakes, unfortunately, just don't register the difference, and they will literally just hang on and constrict, and they will not let go. There are a couple of ways you can get snakes off. Now, you can't physically pull them off you, because number one, you can hurt them. They got very delicate skulls. You can actually damage and rip their teeth out sometimes too. It's not a good idea to try and force them off. And the thing is, snakes' teeth are recurved. So you got to imagine, pythons can have anywhere from 50 to 100 teeth. They have a double row on the top of their mouth. They got their normal set of teeth around the edge of their mouth, in their gums pretty much. Then on the roof of the mouth, they got like a second little row of teeth sticking out of the roof of their mouth. So it's a lot of teeth. They're hooked. So you got to imagine a mouth full of 50 to 100 needles, depending on what sort of python it is. Very thin, pointy needles which are hooked and recurved backwards. They're designed for grabbing and hanging on. So once they grab something, that's it. Whatever they've grabbed, it's not getting away. The only way you can get them off you is you have to make them let go. So there's a few things you can do. The one that I usually do is just water. Most snakes respond to this, some don't, but most do. I know in the past when I've had pythons grab onto me and wrap up and stuff and they're just not letting go, I've put their head under water or turned the tap on and put their head under the tap or poured a bottle of water into their mouth. That can work. Sometimes a shock of cold water lets them let go. Another one is actually orange juice. Because it's straight out of the fridge, it's freezing cold, so again, it shocks them. And the taste. It's a foreign taste to a snake, so if you get that in their mouth, sometimes they can let go. Third one is mouthwash. Just normal Listerine or mouthwash is fine. Again, pour it in their mouth. Now this isn't going to hurt your snake in any way, it just obviously has a very, very strong taste for them and they let go. You want to wash your snake's head and mouth after. You don't want to leave the mouthwash on them because it is alcohol, because of alcohol in it. But those are the three main ways you can get them to let go. Other than that, if none of that works, you just got to pray and hope they decide to let go themselves once they realise that you're not food. And yes, I'm still bleeding, as you can see. The thing is, I'm going to be bleeding for a while. And I may bruise a bit tomorrow because snakes do have very long teeth, so they penetrate through the muscles quite easily. Like he bit me right on my wrist here. That's a bony area, so I felt a few teeth hit the bone there, which, yeah, that was why I kind of yelled. It hurt particularly there. Yeah, look, he literally wants to come back and bite me again. Yeah, so the reason it's bleeding a lot is because snake saliva is anticoagulant. And what that means is, anticoagulant is basically, it means it stops your blood from clotting. So I'm just going to bleed and bleed and bleed for a while. Not forever, obviously, just, you know, normally a cut might dry up within 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever. Snakebite cut maybe take 2 to 3 times as long to stop bleeding. Just because the anticoagulant saliva keeps the blood flowing. Now, it sounds bad, makes the cut look worse than what it is, but it's actually a good thing, really, because you don't get infections from snake bites. If I was to get bitten by, say, a monitor lizard, or a dog, or a cat, or something like that, the bite would most likely get infected, left alone. Snake bite, I can literally just wash that off with water and not worry about it, put a bandage on it if I want, it'll be fine. Because the anticoagulant saliva the snakes have causes this cut to just bleed and bleed and bleed and bleed. It's washing itself out, essentially. So it almost cleans itself by bleeding so much. It washes out any bacteria that could be in there. And on top of that, snakes' mouths just generally aren't very dirty compared to other animals. Snakes don't chew on their food like dogs and cats, and even monitor lizards sometimes do. Like dogs and cats chew their food, they get meat and stuff stuck in their mouth, between their teeth. Monitors' teeth are serrated, so again, they get bits of flesh stuck in there. And so you can get some bad bacteria building up in their mouth. Where with snakes, they're just swallowing their food whole. They use teeth to grab their food, not chew it. The teeth are just basically needles with no serration or any sharp or jagged edges other than the obviously tip of the tooth. So nothing really gets stuck in their mouth. And snakes actually drink a lot of water, so they wash their mouth out quite thoroughly. So that plus their saliva is anticoagulant, I mean, yeah. Not a big deal. Now look, I don't want you guys thinking that my diamond python here is a aggressive snake that always wants to bite you. And I mean, really, most diamond pythons are great pets. I recommend diamonds to most people, actually. I'm just sorry, I have to hold my hand like this. Not because I'm trying to show off this cut, and I'm sorry if this bothers anyone. It's literally, I'm bleeding so much. If I hold my hand down by my side, I'm going to drip all over the floor. So I just want to finish this before I wipe it up. Anyways, yeah, diamond pythons are not a naturally aggressive snake. He only bit me because I haven't fed him in like 2 weeks and he's really hungry. And in all honesty, I've been keeping snakes for almost 19 years now, maybe 20, roughly. 19, 20 years I've been keeping snakes now. Aggression bites I get all the time, they're no big deal. I don't even worry about them most of the time. Feeding bites, like this one here. In the 18 to 19 years I've been keeping multiple pythons and other snakes. This is maybe the 5th time or 6th time I've had a feeding bite in 18 years. Considering the amount of snakes I keep, and I'm handling them daily, doing general maintenance and handling and whatever, it's not a common thing that happens if you're careful and you recognise what it is and how to avoid it. Generally, if you know your snake's got an aggressive feeding response, you just have to work around that. So if you can see it's got an aggressive feeding response and you need to get it out of its enclosure, don't just reach in willy-nilly. It's going to grab you the second you put your hand in because it's excited about food. It's not going to be thinking. It's just going to grab the first thing it sees. You want to turn its feeding response off before you put your hand anywhere near it to move it or change its water or do whatever maintenance you've got to do in the tank. So you use your snake hook to move the snake around. I usually use a snake hook to get the snake out with, keeping him a safe distance from my hands. Once the snake is out of its enclosure, it's fine. Its feeding response is usually turned off by then because it's like, hey, I normally don't get pulled out of my tank when I'm getting fed, so obviously I'm not going to be getting any food today, so I will calm the hell down. Now, obviously I did this intentionally. I'm not this careless normally. I was intending on getting bitten today for the purpose of this video. Generally, this snake's never bit me, ever. And as I said, I've only been bitten maybe 6 times in 18 years in this particular way. It's just a matter of being careful. So read your snake's body language, learn to recognize when it's having an aggressive feeding response to you coming near it, and work around that. Use your snake hook to get it out of the tank. Or if you want to actually hold it, even just sometimes moving it around with the snake hook. You know, moving its head around, touching it on the nose, interrupting its little S shape that they usually get in their neck before they strike. If you can break that up with the snake hook, it throws them off. They realize, hey, every time this guy pokes me and prods me with the snake hook, I don't get food, so I can calm down when he does that. Then you can reach in and pick it up. So that's the general rule. I mean, it varies from species to species, and an individual snake to another individual. They all have their own personality to an extent, so you kind of have to work out for yourself how to behave around your snake. But look, for the most part, pythons are absolute sweethearts, and diamond pythons especially are usually a great handling snake. They're usually very calm. This particular one just really likes his food a lot, and that's what happens when you're careless, I guess. So I hope you guys enjoyed, seeing a bit of blood at my expense. This video better get views, I swear to God, because I ain't doing this again. Now look guys, I'm not doing this video to turn you guys off keeping snakes or to frighten you of snakes. Truth be told, most snakes are wonderful pets, and unlike my black-headed python here, they are the most gentle and calm animals. There's just a few exceptions to the rule because all animals have their own personality, and yes, my rosette diamond is abnormally, kind of snappy. Well, not really snappy, just he has a very aggressive feeding response, even more so than most other snakes that I've got have. So here's that slight abnormality out of my collection where I do have to treat him significantly different when I'm trying to do anything with him. But like I said, most snakes that I've got are like this blackhead. They're very calm and easy to handle. They've never bitten. So yeah, I don't want you guys thinking that all snakes are like that, because they're not. Anyways guys, this video may have been helpful, it may not have been helpful. Truth be told, I was kind of just winging it today. I didn't really have a set plan for this video, so it's kind of derpy. I'm going to leave it at that guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, links will be underneath this video. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.